cognitive dissonance. It sounds like there's some logical thinking happening in your brain, which is refreshing. But you do understand, like, there's this narrative in MAGA, like, Biden ruined my life. There was a worldwide pandemic. A worldwide pandemic occurred, started under Trump, not Trump's fault, right? But started under Trump. Biden inherited a mess. And I'm talking now about the markets and about statistical analysis. We recovered from that pandemic, the best in the G7. Yes. Unequivocally. So Biden did a good job. The cover of The Economist, one of my favorite publications, and what I thought was actually going to happen, because I didn't realize Trump was actually going to do like an authoritarian, like, consolidation of power. I thought, Trump's inheriting a bull market. The economy was projected to expand by 2.8% from the Atlanta Fed. Like, everything was on the up, right? Manufacturing was expected to rise in the US. And I was like, God, he's just going to waltz in and take credit for it. And everyone's going to be like, look what Trump did. Trump did is the opposite of that. And I don't think he did it for no reason, Brad, just to be clear. Yeah, I think
I agree.
Everything Trump's doing is to consolidate power and make corporations, countries, politicians crawl to him on their knees and beg.
I hear you. I don't think it's that extreme. I don't think like that's the ulterior motive is to basically have every country bow down at his feet, and like he's this sick, power hungry.
Not bow down. Well, he's a narcissist. He's a pathological narcissist.
He is a narcissist. He is a narcissist for sure. And if he's not a full blown narcissist, he absolutely has narcissistic tendencies and personality traits, like without a doubt. I think that every president has some level of narcissistic behavior that's like readily available and present, because that's just I think that's one of the characteristics of like, even like you look at major CEOs, right?
Trump's a symptom of a larger problem. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But my whole thing is I'm looking at like even the housing market, right? We're facing, they've come down a little bit, but like interest rates are still very high. The housing market, at least where I live, is the price of the home has gone down, while the interest rates obviously are the majority.
Do you know why we raise interest rates?
To drive rent. Like you would
know. You can't say you understand the markets and not understand interest rates. That's crazy.
The Fed controls interest rates to drive down inflation. So if Trump's going to fuck up the economy and keep inflation stagnant or increase inflation with these tariffs, we're not going to see those rates go down. And Trump is just trying to bully Jerome Powell, the person he appointed, to drive down interest rates artificially, when that would skyrocket inflation, bro. Like Trump is just a fucking crazy man. He did this his first administration. He tried to bully Jerome Powell on Twitter to reduce interest rates so that he looked good, no matter what it did to the economy.
One of the ways we control inflation is by keeping interest rates high, because what happens, and like the way you're right in relating it to the housing market, right? The reason, and Trump's out of his mind, and you can ask his own professors at Wharton, where he allegedly graduated, said he's an idiot, and every time he speaks, he proves he doesn't understand. I'm not claiming I'm an economic genius, but I have a pretty high IQ and took a few economics classes at university, and I understand we are trying to control inflation that's now out of control. Tariffs are driving up inflation, and by holding interest rates higher, right, we are controlling inflation. And when we lower interest rates, the reason, and this is, and you know this if you've been reading and know what's happening with the markets, when Trump inherited Biden's economy and his day one in office, there were projected to be 3 more interest rate cuts this year. It was all going to happen for him. All he had to do was sit there and do nothing, and he was going to get. And just to be clear, if anyone's like, "Oh, I kind of understand, but I don't," when you lower and usually by, let's say, a quarter point, these interest rate cuts, what it does is it makes money cheaper to borrow. So it fuels the economy, right? People can take out bigger loans. They can start businesses. They can buy houses. Money is now cheaper to borrow, right? And all of that was at Trump's fingertips. It was all going to happen. But then the tariffs, all of this, and you're right when you say, I don't feel it yet. We were talking about this. I was listening to a talk by the guy that runs the ports of Los Angeles. We don't feel it yet, but it's coming, right? The containers aren't moving. The container ships aren't moving across the ocean. Like, we are going to miss spring fashion. Like, the products that need to move here aren't coming. There's going to be nothing to consume. Trump's creating a crisis. And I said this on my live on yesterday. He has this week to stop this shit with China.
Would you say, just curious, like, would you say now is a good or bad time to purchase a home?
Well, it depends on your resources, Brad. Like, if you aren't noticing that things are bad, maybe you come from like privilege where you're in a better situation. I don't know. Like, bad time for me.
Considering tariffs.
I just work my ass off and have a very good career. But my question is, like, do you think right now, like, obviously you're very scared for the future, and based on everything you're saying, it's understandable. Like, would you say right now is a good or bad time to purchase a home? I'm not talking about like a $10 million home. I'm not
I'll
talking
say this.
about $1,000
like,
investment.
one of the only things Trump never talked about when he ran for president, and one of the biggest problems that you correctly identified is the housing market. But one of the problems that is yet to be solved, and the only person that even presented a plan, and that's why Goldman Sachs backed Kamala Harris's budget and plan. Trump never even made a budget or a plan. Nothing. He just waxed poetic, right? And that's because in my opinion, with the housing market, we have to increase inventory on a mass scale, right? And more importantly, we need to stop corporations and more importantly, huge hedge funds like BlackRock and from holding homes as assets.
Yeah.
Because it's effing up the entire housing market. I live in Phoenix, and that's one of the places where most of the housing inventory is being held by corporations as assets. And yeah,
they're not getting bought because of the interest rates.
That's not the only thing. I mean, the market is also unstable.
Right, which is why, I mean, that's more so due to like the principal price of the home and not the interest rate. But like, obviously you need the initial principal for a down payment, which is not, it's like you need liquid cash, right? But the interest rates are also scaring people off because they're high, and you can always refi, but that's also an uncertainty as to like what the interest rates will be in 2 years. I mean, there's a lot of factors I think with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we can speculate anything right now. Trump's tariffs, where they stand, we have no idea what to do. We don't know what's going to happen to the price of lumber. We don't know what's going to happen to the price of labor. Housing prices may skyrocket.
Dude, I completely agree. We can't speculate anything right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, and I say that in we can't speculate good or bad. I think it's a very uncertain period of time. Like, if you keep saying, if the tariffs remain in effect, right, we can then speculate with reasonable confidence that things will not get better. If hopefully we realize, or the administration realizes, okay, no one's budging, we're at a standstill. I can't keep holding tariffs over these countries' heads because product is not moving and consumption in the United States is at a halt. Like, evidently this was not the play. The threat didn't work and the countries didn't bite.
This is you assuming Trump cares about us. This is you assuming that, which is questionable. If you're on our side, we don't think that he cares.
You agree that Trump's a narcissist, but and you also you also believe he cares about you. Those things can't exist at the same time.
No. You can absolutely have narcissistic tendencies.
He's a malignant narcissist. He's
But
not
also-
just narcissistic tendencies. He's a malignant narcissist. He doesn't care. He said anything he had to get elected, and now he's doing whatever the fuck he wants, or whatever the billionaires that he hired or bailed him out of prison, whatever they want. That's what he's doing. He's not doing whatever this thing is, us trying to predict, like, if it's good for us, how it's good for us. That's not what's going on, dude. We're going to see bare shelves in a few weeks. We're going to see small to medium-sized businesses crashing. We're going to see all of his rich buddies going and buying up all these failing businesses and all of these houses that are foreclosing. That's what's going to happen. He's drooling at this.
I don't think that, like, Harris is someone who, like, would have come into office and, like, been head over heels for the American people and care, like you're saying.
Her only client
I can say
her entire life has
she's
been the
top
people.
5 most qualified people to ever run for president. If I just gave you a stack of resumes of everyone to ever run for president, and you never knew if they were a male or female, she is the most qualified, one of the literally pound for pound most qualified people to ever run for president. And I could wax poetic about capitalism and how it's collective narcissism and how it's not the future and how there's finite amounts of resources and all we see are transfers of wealth to the top. Like, that's neither here nor there. Goldman Sachs endorsed Kamala Harris. And this is why you're living it right now. This is the why. Oh, and someone made a good point. I think Starlight Ember in the comments. I did see what you said. And this is why I think Trump has to back down. You have to understand how you said you like the markets. Well, understand who's the largest holders of our bonds, right? It used to be
Japan?
When things were the worst, people fled to bonds. You know who some of the largest holders of U.S. bonds are? Japan and Canada. Mark Carney. You know who Mark Carney is? The guy that was just elected to run Canada. He's a finance bro in Canada who basically called Trump and is like, I will dump every single bond. They will drive, if they decide at any moment, the rest of the world, it will drive us into a recession to teach us a lesson. They will devalue the US dollar to a point we cannot recover from. That's what they're basically telling Trump. Keep going, and we will dump every US bond we had. We will not recover from that.
Yeah, if that happened, yes, you're correct. I mean, it would drive us into a recession. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, they're going to do whatever the fuck they have to, just like Trump is Trump is holding us hostage and using the leverage of tariffs to try to have control over these countries, and they're showing him their cards, and he's balking. That's where we're at right now. That's why he keeps doing delays. Now he's trying not to look like too much of a pussy, and he doesn't know what to do. If he takes the tariffs down now, he looks like a failed idiot. So I don't know. Maybe he's waiting for a way for him to look like the good guy, look like the hero by taking these tariffs down. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think I hear what you're saying. Like, as far as if he backs down from the tariffs, like it could shine a light, making him look like a coward but like.
It's not him being a coward. It's him doing the right thing.
I agree.
It's an unwinnable. He's in a bad position in the markets. Period. Like, his back is against the wall. I don't even think. I would think it would show a crack of sanity.
I agree with you, and I think that with his administration, and if he does decide to, like, not implement the tariffs anymore, if that just goes away, like, his administration will spin it in a way to make Trump still look good. Like,
Brad's got more important calls. Brad's girl's calling.
Sorry, I got a call.
I did not expect that's what Brad looks like.
Oh, sorry about that.
Brad's reasonably handsome, everyone. I don't know if that changes how anyone feels about Brad, but
Trish, thank you for the 5 gifted. Is there anything you want to say before we get to the next guy? You've been in for like 30 minutes. I feel like we're kind of.
Can I say something to Brad? Brad, listen to me. We talk to people, and you are not in complete cognitive dissonance. Your brain is working. You seem like an intelligent person. So my advice to you is just follow facts, right? Every idea, every position I have, it's not me like being like, oh, I don't like Donald Trump. It's just based on it's data driven, right? Follow
Yeah.
the data and it will tell you the correct story, right? And if you follow data and you follow facts, then it's not that we're all bleeding heart liberals. I don't even like the Democratic Party. It's just you have to move left because that's where the data takes you.
No, I agree.